Good morning, everyone. It's Jason Kingery here, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you an overview of the new Panda program, what that program can do for you, how you can better utilize that program. Today, I kind of want to just show you where everything's at and spend a little bit of time. Katrina will certainly take some questions. If you want to raise your hand along that, we'll probably save those to the end, and then if we need to go back through anything, we'll do that. So without further ado, let's jump right into this thing and get going on this program so you can see really what it can do for you and your business. So where we go, of course, we go to the gateway and log in. Remember, if you're having any problems ever getting logged in, go to the NRT help desk at the bottom or click the forget your password and they'll send you a new one. It's right there at the bottom. It's right on that screen. And we look for our Panda Bear and click on that. All right, so here we are at the landing page, the home page, the dashboard, if you will. I want to go through kind of all the elements of the dashboard and what's all here for you, how you can use it. Let's start at the top right, where we've got help, settings, and login. One of the first things you want to do is make sure that everything in your account is set up and spelled correctly and your numbers are right. So I click on settings. The company's going to have most of this preloaded for you. You can see I've got my name, organization, first, last, designations, and then if you have a slogan on there. Your contact information, you're going to want to make sure that this is correct. This is the right way for people to contact you. So I've got my office phone, I've got my mobile phone. I don't actually put my office address in there, and let me just tell you why. Like you, my license is good for the entire state. Now, I primarily work in northern Colorado, and most of us know where that's at. But if you wanted to put Denver Metro and expanding areas, if you're in this area, if you're down in the Springs, Colorado Springs and surrounding areas, I think that would be okay. I don't want them to think that just because I office out of Loveland, I don't sell homes in Fort Collins or Greeley or Windsor, because I certainly sell homes in all of those locations. So you can see I kind of keep that broad in there. So that's good. Your images, there's me about 20 pounds ago. And if we scroll down, your brand image, I have my little logo in here, and of course the Coldwell Banker logo will be there. Account information, nothing to do there. You don't have to add anything in here. And billing over here, no additional charges for this program, so there's nothing to do with billing. But there is something on social networks. This is one of the important things. So the cool thing about this program is it can actually allow you to send out stuff to your social networks without you actually having to go out and find that information. So if you look here, this is for your blog, obviously Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your Google+, YouTube, and Pinterest. Now, you can add any of these and add them to your account. So what I would recommend you do when you get ready to load those up, go directly to your Facebook page, open it up in your browser, and copy that Facebook page link and paste it right in here. And then do the same thing for each one of those supplemental items, the Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Google, your YouTube, your Pinterest. We have a company Pinterest account that I believe is Colorado Homestyle.
Blog.
Sorry, it's a blog, Colorado Homestyle. And you can add the company one to that. It just has lots of image on real estate, great times to buy and sell. Those are another one you can add if you don't have your own blog or your own Pinterest. We have some of those for the company as well. And you can shoot Todd Moyer an email if you're curious about what those exact links are, and he can send them out exactly to you as well. He's got access to all those. So after we click these in here, we'll click Save. There's not a lot of stuff to do on the Save pieces, but when you make a change, do remember to click Save. Also down here, it says add and update your social network. So after you've put them on there, you want to make sure they're actually activated and added. So you'll click on this, and here we go. I can see that my Facebook, my Facebook fan page, and my Twitter account are all activated. Those are the primary ones that I use. You can certainly use more than that if you want. And then you can, if it doesn't say connected here, you can go down here and connect those to it. So once you've got the social networks in, let's go back one again here. Once you've got those all pasted in here, you're going to want to click on Add and Update Your Social Networks and make sure that they all say connected or confirmed. is usually what they say. So we're good there. We've got those social networks set up. Let's go back. We're still at the home screen. So that was under our settings tab. Now I want to kind of just walk through the main page here. If you look at this page, on the left-hand side, quick entry contact. So this is kind of a cool thing. One of the things I do after I've closed a transaction is add in my new Sphere member to this if I haven't already. Sometimes you're like, gosh, I just haven't had time. We've been out looking at property, writing offers like crazy. So this will be one of my checklist items that I do after I've closed the deal. I'll put their first and last name in there, their email address. Usually I don't put their phone in here. You can if you're going to be doing anything with it, but most likely you're not storing your whole database here. You're primarily just utilizing this program for email marketing, and that's the important thing to think about here. We'll talk about that when we get into the context a little bit. Because we're not mailing anything in here, for me, doesn't seem necessary to add their mailing addresses to it because I'm not mailing postcards. I'm not mailing anything like that out there. So, but I gotta have their email address, right? This is about electronic marketing. So I'm going to add their first name, last name, their email address. I want to subscribe them to my newsletter. So the newsletter is basically your monthly AVP that goes out to everyone every single month so that they see your smiling face and see whatever company programs are being offered at the time. Add to a contact group. So you can see I've got several groups here. You can add them to it. Maybe you've created a open house list, or perhaps you've created a farm and you're like, hey, this is the third home I've sold my farm. I want to start a farming emailing list, excuse me. So we can do that as well. And then after we've done it, we just click Add Now. Now maybe it's your first one in your farm and say, hey, I want to start a new group in my farm. Right here it says Groups. I can type in the name of a new group and click Add, and it will add that to my additional group. So now when I click my quick entry up there, this will be one of my drop-down choices. Very simple to do. Now, one of the great things about this program is really, besides my training here, is the training that you have right here on the home page. The cool thing about all these, they're very similar to what we're doing right here, is they walk you through individual portions of the program. So we've got the introduction, we've got the contact manager actually just walking you directly through how to load the contacts, what you can do with the contract, how to utilize the e-newsletter to customize your e-newsletter. You can add personal articles if you want. So if you're an excellent writer, you've got some stuff you'd like to add in there, you can certainly do that. Your email tools, how do we manage and set up, how do we set up the autopilots, and we're going to go through some of that today as well. And then of course the social tool, how do we set up our social networks and make sure those are set up. If you look here on the left under our knowledge books, dashboard tutorial, getting started, topic, terms of use, these are all great. Or you're like, gosh, I've got a specific question and I can't seem to find it in a video. I can click on send request. When I send request, first it's got a reminder here. Here's a listing of all the knowledge books that we have for you to review. But you're like, gosh, I just can't seem to find the answer I need. We can actually click submit a request. There we'll type in our name and email. They want to make sure you're not a robot, so you'll type in these little numbers. And then you'll click submit request. Now this goes to a gal in Tennessee, I believe. Her name's Donna Ray. She's from the South. She is a real person though, and she'll most likely be the one responding to your request. Typically I've seen my responses within 24 hours, depending on what time I put that response in, sometimes faster if it's specific. Now a lot of times it's kind of funny, she'll send me back a link that says, hey, here's the video, and maybe I just didn't watch it enough or I didn't understand it, but I can go back and watch it again and review that. So it's pretty comprehensive section of training besides what you're getting here from me today. If you really want to dig into these topics, so you want to become the master of one of these, this is a great place to start to do that. Let's go back, close out this one here. You see we've got the same videos here, basically the videos here. We've just got them a little more visual for you. Now let's talk about our tabs across the top here. So we know we click on dashboard, boom, takes us right back here. There's our dashboard. Then we've got our contacts, to-do list, import, export, mailing labels, undeliverable email. You can print mailing labels from this if you're going to be loading up all of the contacts, but most likely you're loading those contacts up from your already CSV file and or Excel spreadsheets. So I don't necessarily know this is the best place in the world to print mailing labels. And then we've got undeliverable email addresses. Under our messages, we've got your messages. We can create a message. We have our real estate newsletter, and then our autopilot settings. And we'll get into that here in a few minutes as well, so you can see what's going to be getting sent out once you set up those social networks from your settings tab right here, social networks. That's where we go to our autopilot settings to see what's getting sent out. And we'll talk about the time frame on that as well. We've got tracking. You click on tracking, here's what's going out, here's what's opening, unopened, opened, unopened, bounced, pending, bounced. And then we've got our real estate tools, home, your listings, mobile hauling. Let's go back here to contacts. And we'll just start working our way across the tabs. So I've got a list of contacts. I've got, it looks like I've got about 1,465 total contacts in there. Now some of those I have put in specific groups. So one of the things you can do is, I'm going to close this one out real quick. So here's everybody. And it says showing, if you're ever wondering, gosh, what the heck am I looking at? Showing 1,465 of 1,465. Now I can also filter by my groups. So I'm like, gosh, you know, what groups do I have? My primary sphere. Scroll in within that. There we go. And so one of the groups that I've put up is my real estate agents marketing. So what I want to do is I want to filter by that group. I click that, highlight it, apply that filter. Now it's showing 671 of the 1465. So these are real estate professionals in my area that I market to. So when I do my CB Gold program and I'm getting ready to send out that email, letting them know about a new listing coming up maybe a day or two before it's hit the market, this is the list that I'm sending it to. So we can sort that list by anything we want. We can sort our contacts by company, city, state, zip, area, birthday, anniversary, etc. You can also just look up a contact if you'd like. So I'm going to look up my contact, Bremeyer, and there's Joe. So there's his email address. If I'm like, oh gosh, I've lost my database and I can't find an email address for him, this would be a good place to find that as well. Filter, again, any of those options that you have there. Most likely your primary sphere is going to be the one, that's the one that the company recognizes to send out for you every month automatically. It's a great thing to do to ensure that your folks are getting that information, whatever the newsletter is for that month. Now you can see if I click on, let's see, I click on a name, David Bova. When you click on the name, it actually opens up that individual contact. So there's that contact's email, there's their phone numbers, I have their address in here. If I scroll down in here, you can see if they had a spouse. Down here you would put their spouse's name, and they may have a separate email address, and that's fine. The cool thing is, let's say you put a contact in here 4 or 5 times because you have one as a friend and they're also a realtor and they're in your farm, then maybe you have them in there 2 or 3 times. The great thing is the system recognizes that email address and only sends the message out once. So they're not getting 4 different messages from you if you happen to have them in multiple locations. If you look here, edit. So we've got new and edit. We just click edit. Now all the fields open up for that contact. So we can add more information about them, add their Facebook account, their LinkedIn account, their home address, business address. The one I want you to pay attention to is this one right down here, important date. So the birth date, customer anniversary, and wedding anniversary. So these are kind of nice things, I think, as agents when we're looking to build our sphere list and really build great rapport with our clients, is kind of knowing what's going on in their life. And one of those could be knowing their wedding anniversary. Of course, we would know their customer anniversary, and that would be their closing date. When did they close on that property? And then lastly, their birth date. And we'd simply put that in there, whatever month that is, day of the closing. And then we will actually create our own little postcard excuse me, e-postcard, if you will, or e-card that will go directly to them on the date of their anniversary, basically saying happy anniversary. Now, the cool thing is you only have to create one of those happy anniversary cards every year. You create the one probably the first day of January there, go in here, create the one, and that's the one that's going to get sent out to all your people. So, and we'll show you how to do that, but most importantly, don't be specific in that, don't say happy 5-year, 6-year, 2-year, just happy anniversary, hope you're enjoying another year in your wonderful home. If I can ever be of any assistance to you or your family, please don't hesitate to contact me. So kind of a gentle pitch, but more of a, hey, congratulations, it's been another year in your home. Just reminding them that, hey, you're the person who helped them put them in there. So you can see we've got lots of stuff in here for this. One thing I want to make sure that they are checked in the Real Estate Monthly AVP. Now this is a super old contact I've had in here forever, but I've checked the bottom, checked the button that they're going to be getting that monthly. Their email address is good. So we should click on View. There's the View, and then Edit is where we make the changes. Let's go back into Contacts. I don't use the to-do list, to be honest with you. It's something we can certainly have in here if we want to complete something or have a list of stuff. This is certainly something we can do to add a list of items, a checklist. I think if you're like me, you're most likely managing your checklist and your items like that in a in your Microsoft Outlook or your Gmail or wherever it is you're storing your database. So I'm going to tell you, I don't really use that. Now the cool thing is, if you do have your list in Microsoft Outlook or a CSV file or Excel file or your Gmail or AOL or whatever, you can upload that complete list right here. So we've got a couple different ways. Contact Import Wizard. So we choose the file and upload it. You can also type or copy the paste the context from another program like Excel in this order. Now you'll see this is how the Excel fields want them set up. First name, last name, email, mobile number. Written exactly like that. So in your Excel spreadsheet, the very top, A1, A2, A3, all of those fields should be written exactly like that. Email, nothing else, has to be exactly like that to load up. You can also, if you click on Gmail Importer, boom, or one of just this icon, and it will say, do you want to import your address book from Gmail, from Yahoo, from Outlook, AOL, Mac address, Plaxo, wherever you may be holding those. All you have to, I don't want to do this because this is Train's computer, but you can simply select this. It'll open up your account, you'll log into it, and it will pull those addresses down for you. Now, if you've already created them and you've exported them from your Microsoft Outlook, so I send mine out from my Microsoft Outlook to an Excel spreadsheet and then save that spreadsheet as a CSV. Once we have that spreadsheet saved, we can go ahead and go choose File and grab that file from wherever it's stored on your desktop or under your documents, and load that up and have instant access to those and load that list up in here. Now the thing I want to remind you to do when you export your spreadsheet, really all you're going to want is this information right here. First name, last name, email, and you may want the phone number there. But really first, last, and email are the three big ones that we need since this is an email marketing program, and that's really what we're trying to do. So I would just delete the other fields that all come with it, the city, state, address, and all that stuff if you don't think you're going to be needing it, or if you're not managing your sphere list or contact list here, which most likely you're not. You're probably, like I said, managing it someplace else. So there's no really reason to have it put in here outside of the first name, last name, and email. After we have them all in here, we can actually export them as well. So we can export them to a CSV or export them to Excel. The fax export is the XLS. I haven't done these. I've never exported my contacts out of here. One of the things I think you can do is, let's say you want to just go ahead and update your list. Say, hey gosh, I've had a real busy couple of months and I haven't gotten here and added all my new contacts. Well, then I would just export all of your contacts from your Outlook or your Gmail or wherever you're some and override them, and they will put them in here and override all of the old contacts so that I have a complete list. And I would probably do that about every other month. You can just dump it all and reload it all up in there. All right, so that's the contact importer. Mailing labels, like I said, I'm not loading any addresses in here, so I'm not doing any mailing labels. You can certainly do it by clicking on mailing labels and it'll tell you which Avery one you've gotten here. Most likely though, you've got this list in a CSV or a similar format, and you can just outload it right from that program and have a little bit more ability to edit those emails. Undeliverable email addresses, we click on that. These are people who say they have either bad email or they've unsubscribed. Now you'll notice quite a few of them are with a competitor of mine if you look at this one. And it's funny because some of these competitors send me their stuff. So I'm one of those guys that kind of keeps score in my head. And if, excuse me, if they're getting my stuff, there's a good chance I'm going to add them back. Or if I'm getting their stuff, then I'm going to add them to theirs. Excuse me. And I'm going to add them back in there. You can see they're like, oh, just take them out. We don't, gosh, why would we want to know about another company's listing that hasn't hit the market yet? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that may be their company policy. Messages, your messages. Create a new message, real estate news autopath. So that does it for contacts. Let's start in here with your messages. We'll go right down these one at a time. So here it is, a list of stuff that is coming up. So it says when that is scheduled on the right hand side. Twitter is scheduled at this time. Facebook is scheduled to host at this time. Edit, replicate, archive, delete. Now you'll see these ones up here say autopilot. Anytime you see an autopilot, you know that someone is sending the company, or in this case yourself, who has set this autopilot up, through the settings. Remember, we went to the settings and we put our social networks and we decided which ones we wanted to use. Then we went, let's go back into autopilot settings just so you can see how this is set up, and then we'll go back to here. We click on autopilot settings. I just want to scroll to the bottom right quickly. You can see I can decide what is going to get posted automatically for me. So when I get there, most likely it will look like this. I'm going to uncheck this one just so you guys can see. It'll look just like that. There's nothing selected, nothing going on. General interest in engaging queries, manager recruiting emails, monthly recruiting, monthly newsletter, real estate technology. Let's go to this first one. Excuse me, general interest in engaging questions. Click on that, and it's going to open it up. So this is what yours will look like when you first get there. You'll open up, and then you'll decide where you want to post those. Now, I primarily post those to Twitter. Now, I know some of you may be anti-Twitterers and think, oh gosh, nobody cares about me on Twitter. The thing I want you to remember is how powerful of a search engine optimizer Twitter is. The SEO for Twitter is really pretty incredible. I can tell you, once I started this program and just loading up my auto social with you can see I've got Twitter here, clicked on several of these. It posts these things automatically for me. I got on the first page of Google by Googling my name, my Twitter. I'm on there for several things, obviously with Coldwell Banker and my Facebook and that stuff, but Twitter jumped right up after doing this for about 3 or 4 months because it looked like I was a really active Twitter user. I can tell you I'm not a super active Twitter user, but if you go to my page, it looks like, God, he posts stuff all the time. When really, this is the program I'm utilizing to post those things to help me show up with in that search engine optimization. So after you've got those from your settings, you've created your social networks, this is where the stuff's going to be posted. You get to decide what it is. Real estate headlines, I post that to my Facebook page, my fan page, and this. I don't post it to my regular Facebook page. The reason I don't actually do the real estate one on my regular Facebook pages, I'm typically a 10 to 1. I do 10 things personal and 1 thing real estate related on my personal page. I do this because obviously my goal is to get people to know me, like me, trust me, And I don't want them just thinking they're getting spammed every time they come to my personal page. Like, oh gosh, all he has is another thing in real estate. And sometimes if I'm busy, and especially in the summer months, I don't have a ton of time to post a bunch of personal stuff to get me to that 10-to-1 ratio. And it looks like, oh my gosh, he posted 4 real estate things in a row. And he hasn't posted anything like that. So although I utilize a lot of the messages they have in here, I'll go back in there and post them later. Now, we've got a couple other things on this. So, man, here remember, we're at the autopilot settings here. We go in here and contact-based events. So we talked about when we created the contact that we would put in their home anniversary or their birthday. So we can click on these and it will automatically send those out to anyone who has the home anniversary or their birthday. Click on it and then they're going to get their anniversaries and their birthdays, because you've created a single card just for those. This one right here is the annual autopilot holidays and events. So it says check an event and will automatically create new personalized email messages in your queue and send the messages to all your email contacts. So this is really important. It says send the messages to all your email contacts. Once a greeting is created, you can edit the design, contents, recipients, and delivery date. So you can see, you're like, well, gosh, Jason, why don't you have those clicked? Well, obviously, I don't want to send it out to all my email contacts. I don't need the other people in the real estate industry to see my newsletter necessarily. So what I do is after the newsletter is created, then I go in there and I just send it to my sphere. I don't want to send out another 600 of these to other real estate professionals because they're like, look, Jace, you don't need to market to us. We're not going to be purchasing or selling a home with you. We are real estate professionals ourselves. So I'll come back in, and then when I'm in the program, under my messages, I can go ahead and open that message and select it. Let's find one that's not autopilot. There's our last one. Announcement. So this would be, that's not actually, I'm looking for the, sorry guys, I'm trying to find this here. I can't find it. I'm looking for the, here we go, e-message. So this is the newsletter when you see the e-message. And I can view it then, and I can open it back up, and then I would send that out to just my sphere. So let's go back up here to one of these autopilots. Whoops. And let's click on Edit. So if I want to change it or send it someplace else, I can click on these, and it will send it up there. And it says every 4 years people question the effect the presidential election might have on the national housing market. So they'll open it up and they'll get to see what that message is. Now, one of the things you should know about the messages going out, they are really designed to be either, again, interesting or engaging questions or interesting real estate tidbits. Now, with that, every Tuesday, you're going to get an email from New Panda in the morning about what is going out. This is where you need to look at that email. Now, I'm on a separate computer than my own, but if you went into my own email, this morning I got an email from New Panda that said what is getting ready to go out. Once I have that email, I can review each one of those items and say, oh yes, that is definitely a message that I wanted to go out. Now, you got to remember, this program is pulled nationally. So we have a lot of national news. We have some local news. But when that national news came out, there was one where it says real estate was slowing down a little bit. Well, that's obviously not the case in our market. So when I got my email message from New Panda, I went ahead and deleted that message. I can go in there, I can see what the message is, and then come in here, and all I have to do is click delete, and it will get rid of those messages. You can also replicate a message by starting to create your own, starting a new template, and your listing email. Let's go back here though for 1 minute because I want you guys to see all of these things are going to show up on your social media feeds And again, you get to decide what's there or what's not. If you get the email on Tuesday and you review it and you say, oh my gosh, that's nothing I want to go out, that doesn't pertain to my business, then you can simply come in here and delete it and it won't get sent out. Let's go to, where's the e-news message? So here it is. This is an e-news message. So you can create your own messages as well. So we've got, this is the insider, and if you want to send these stuff out, you certainly can. You're like, gosh, Jace, that's really cool. Well, of course, I didn't write all this stuff. I don't put this stuff together. That's what we have Coldwell Banker for. So if we go in here, go back to the top here, sorry, to messages, create a new message. I click on create new messages, and I can make my own, start with a template, or create a new. Now, I recommend starting with a template. I'm not an HTML expert, so I would never make my own. But if I start with the template, I click on there, and it looks like, oh my gosh, there's nothing there. RTS, read the screen, select a category from the left. Oh, there we go. So we've got the Colorado Homes Edition, our AVP messages, the reality checks. This is something I don't think we're utilizing enough of. This is a really great piece, a nice professional looking piece that we can put there. So here's the one that was last May. Reality check, May mortgage update. I can preview that. Well, let's see what this looks like. It's coming from this. I can send a preview to my email address right now if I just want to see what it looks like, so I can see what it shows as oops, let me get this on the screen here. As I scroll down here, update on the mortgage market, helpful tips for homeowners. And here we've got a little conversation with Steve Majerus. We scroll down through here, and then of course it's got our contact information on there as well. So you're like, gosh, I really like that. I'd like to send that out. No problem, you can certainly do that. You would just select this one. Remember, I was in preview. Now, if you want to make some edits in here or add some stuff, I would recommend with this one, since it has to do with mortgage, I would put your CB Home Loans Pro contact information in here at the end or the beginning of this article, saying, hey, if you'd like to get pre-qualified right now and take a deeper look at your financial situation and what you could qualify for, please contact my CB Home Loans professional and have them send you their picture, load their picture up there and their contact information in there. I think that's a great thing to do. It'll give you give them another touch point to find you, meaning they could actually contact the lender, and the lender is going to ask them, especially if it comes from a CB Home Loans Pro, hey, who gave you my contact information? Oh, I got it from our realtor, Jason, who sent me an email message. Oh, that's great. And then that Home Loans Pro is going to feed that that buyer right back to you. So I've gotten this in here, great. I can watch this online, TV, follow, blog. I want to save and continue. I'm going to send this out. So I can call this whatever I want to. So I would name the message instead of just e-message. This one would be mortgage. I would say mortgage reality check. Email subject line. How much can you afford? Who's it coming? My name. Who's it coming from? Apply address. Now I'm just going to send it to just myself. Do you have your email on this computer, Katrina?
I do.
I'm thinking.
Put that on the bottom.
Okay, I'm thinking. Well, actually, since I don't have you in my contact, I can't do that. Sorry. I'm just going to send it to. Who do I want to send it to? Select a contact. So, search. I know that that's me. I put myself as AAA, so it's easy to find. Then I can skip email, or I can save and continue. Well, I don't want to skip email. I want to actually email this to myself. Or again, you could select your groups, and by highlighting these and arrowing it over, it puts it in there. Agents imported, your primary sphere, etc. Or if you like, hey, I've got a handful of people that I want to see this because I know these people are currently living in condos or apartments, and the condo buyers either want to move up or the apartment buyers may want to move out. So I just select a handful of them and just send them this one thing to maybe get them thinking about, gosh, I'm paying $1,600 a month at this apartment complex. How much could I afford if I was going to get a loan on a house? How much of a house could I afford? Click Save and Continue. This is, hey, I want to post it to my social network. In this case, I'm not. I'm going to skip social. And then I just click Send Now. I can save as a draft, or I can schedule a date. So if you want to make a couple of these at a time, you're like, hey, I've got a little time to burn. I'm working on my marketing today. Set up 2 or 3 different kind of emailer programs, and you can send these out individually at a different time. Say, hey, I want to send one out one every 3 weeks. I'm going to do 3 right now. And maybe you can make them specific. These are for people who do live in apartments of my sphere, or people who are in condos or move-up buyers, and you can start making 3 separate messages. Start with this reality check and then make a couple up. Should I rent? Should I buy? Type of things. Save and continue because I want to send it now. Boom, that's great. Congratulations, your message has been sent. So that's going to show up in my email. Now if I want to go back from here, I want sent messages. And let's say, hey, I do want to go ahead and post this on my social network. I don't know if I know my password on this right quick. Let's put it on this page. Oh, sorry. One thing, when you load your social messages, I want to go back here because I want to take this image. So this is kind of a trickier thing when you're getting ready to load the message. I always like to put an image in when I'm putting a message on Facebook or one of those locations. So I'll click here. I'll right click. I should be able to. Maybe I can't because this is not a editable template. Is that how you copy? The right click to the right side? Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe I can't do it on this one. Maybe I can do it. Control C. I don't know if, let's try Control C. All right, let's try that. I don't think that's going to work out well. Let me go back into a different message. It's not giving me the option on here, so let's just find another message. Let's go to an e-stationery, and I'll show you how to do this, or excuse me, I want to go to all-purpose, and I want to go to e-cards. Let's do something, summary, since it's 90 degrees out today. General. And Rockies are playing the Yankees today, if I'm not mistaken. Let's do a baseball one. So I click on baseball. And it, oops, well, that shouldn't have done that. As you can see, these programs don't work perfect all the time like we hope them to. Sometimes I get lost in the program myself. All right, I'm going to start with I'm going to create a new message because it's just circling me back in here. Start with the template. We're going to go right back to where we were. All-purpose, e-cards, summer, general. We'll go back to this baseball one. We'll select the baseball one. And so now it opens it up in here. And where it says contact your name, it's going to have your contact name in there, however you have it entered in there. Opening day, all you have to do is say the words and you feel better. And you feel the shutters thrown door, the open door, yada, yada, yada. We've got a whole little thing about this. This summer, may each day be filled with possibilities. So nice little message there. Of course, it's not opening day, so I would take that out. I would say, all I have to do is the words and feel the shutters door open, pouring baseball, no other day, pure possibility. And I want to load an image into it. So this is kind of the step that's a little confusing because you sometimes will forget to do this. So when we load to Facebook in those places, we want an image. So right here, we're going to right click. I have no idea why this is not working. Okay, well, I'm having some technical difficulties here. We'll see if we can figure it out and we'll talk about it. So we've got other images. So if I have an image in there, but you should be able to grab this image. I'll double check on that. We'll follow back up with that next week, but you should be able to certainly grab that image. It'll give you several choices of what to do with that image. Let's go forward here and save and continue and see if it opens it again here. And let's go skip email, because we are going to post it socially this time. And I'm going to post it at my real estate one. We click this arrow, creates the URL. So it says optional, insert a link pointing to the email contents of this message by clicking the down arrow. Insert a link in your own URL by typing the URL below and clicking the down arrow. Advanced Facebook options. So now we've got our link URL. We would copy that link. I guess we don't have control. I guess Control C is copy or cut. Control C, copy. Link URL, Control V. Link URL is required. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Command C.
Oh, Command C, sorry. This is an Apple. I'm on a laptop, regular old school user here. I don't use these fancy ones. Oh, and then Command V. There we go. All right, so there's our link URL. So our image URL, that's usually where you can grab this image on that we were just trying to attempt. When I highlighted that image, I don't know why it didn't give me that option for that, so we'll figure that out and see why it didn't do that, and we'll follow up with that next week probably for some reason. I'm not sure why it didn't do that. We'll put the image URL. We can put a message in here, summertime ball, a caption. Let's see, take me out to the ball game. And then we can put some type of description in here. And I'm going to save and continue. I can save as a draft or send now. I'm going to send now. Save and continue. Now this is going to look a little hokey. Oh, it says we've got something red up here. You must add recipients to the previous step before saving. Well, in this case, it's for email. You're like, oh gosh, I don't need to email. So I'm just going to save as a draft for email. Because I'm not sending it to email. I'm only doing this one socially. So if you get the red up there, just read it. You must add recipients in the previous step. Well, we're not sending anything email, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save as a Draft. But I am going to send it now to social. Save and continue. And now if I go to Facebook, are we Facebook friends? I think we are. And I type in, let's find Jason Kingery Real Estate. There he is. And you scroll down here. Now it's going to look really silly because I'm going to tell you that right now because the image doesn't show up. But you can see here's everything that we had. I want to click on this. It should take me to my postcard, but it did not, so I don't know what's going on there. And here's the thing, when they're on Facebook, I don't want them clicking off this. That's why I want that image and the message down in here. You can see, just so you see what a real one looks like, the next one down here, this is one that new Panda loaded for me. So when I'm having them auto post to my site, home sales are up dramatically over the last year in 5 of 6 price ranges. That's great news. And then they can actually click on this and it'll open up the article. And it says, hey, here's what's going on. What price ranges are really moving? Well, this is no surprise to us in the industry, is it? Not at all. 15% increase in homes priced in that price range. So kind of a nice little piece to let people know what price ranges are moving at. And again, this is just real estate related stuff. That's you can see New Panda posts a lot of this stuff. And it's the cool thing is it says, oh, it's coming from Sugar Pop. Jason found this great article about backyard shed becomes mini dream home. No, I didn't actually find that. New Panda found that for it and auto posted it to my site. They auto posted a lot of this stuff. I go in here and add local stuff to add a little bit more to it. You can see, so one of the things I do, one of the cool things we can do is we can add those market action reports. So this is where I work, 80550 primarily, and it says what's going on. This is a really easy thing you can do on your Facebook account, not to get sidetracked here, to post that kind of stuff to your social media as well. All right, let's go back to New Panda. We've talked about our messages. When it comes to creating that message, we really have so many choices, but I would recommend you do a few and start with just a template. We've got them all written over here. And one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to set one up and just send it to yourself. Don't send it to everyone else in your sphere first. I would first send it to yourself, take a look at it. Hey, is that what I want it to look like? Is that the message I want to make? And after you've seen it, then you can certainly think about sending it to some other folks. And then if you want to send it to some other folks, you can just go right back into your messages, find that, replicate it, and send it out. Okay? The newsletter, real estate newsletter. Let's click on that. So one of the things we need to do with our clients is subscribe them to this newsletter. So you saw at the dashboard, let me go back here for 1 second, where it said we add someone as our contact and we have to subscribe them. You just click that and they're subscribed. You can go into the contact and subscribe them. I can view past publications or future publications. So, hey, what went out back in March? Here it is. In northern Colorado, we've got the Peach Festival. You guys are going to have the Rockies along here if you're in the Denver metro area. Or in Colorado Springs, I think it's a Zephyr game. And it's got listings along here, featured listings, my contact information, and then email or RSVP. Really the goal in this newsletter is to get them to interact with you, to get them to click on this and say, hey, Jason, I saw you're going to give us free tickets to the Peach Festival. Man, that would be so awesome. What do I got to do to get them? And they can call or RSVP for it. Here's one of my ones, 4 fly fishing spots in Colorado. So we've got a lot of little articles on here to let them know. You can change the background, and we've got Long's Peak. There's the beaver climbing up. That's Mount Meeker on the left. And we click Search for Homes. And the idea is going to take them right to your market leader site, which we talked about last week. So here we are, New Panda, crossing it over to here because I want folks to come here and start searching for properties, inquire on properties, so that I can eventually, battery's low, sorry, just let Katrina know that my battery's low. Hopefully it won't go to sleep unless I plug in the power outlet. The New Panda piece ties in with that program as well. That's the newsletters, and then we've got tracking. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some questions. We've got about 10 minutes. So tracking, I can see what's sent out, what my open rate is, who's delivered on one of your cards, open rate, unopened rate, what's bounced. I don't know that this is always right. I haven't found this to be very right, to be in all honesty. If you look at it, you'll see that probably a lot of them are those group agents and my competitors who are like, oh gosh, we don't want to know about inventory in our market because we're short-sighted. I'm kidding. I think it's silly, guys. I think it would be great if we all shared information with each other. Now, it's one thing if you're sending it out after the home's already been on the market for 2 weeks, but if you're sending out a new listing that's just coming on the market in the next day or two, I think that's just great information as real estate professionals we really need to share with each other. You can see a lot of people are opting out of mine, and that's fine. They're going to do what they're going to do. I think it's kind of silly. Or when you get a price reduction on something, this is another great thing to do there as well with your tracking. Real estate tools. So I've got listings here that have got sent out to the data feed. And you can see these are ones, and the cool thing is I didn't do any of these. I utilize the CB Gold program for every listing I take. So the company set all this stuff up for me and sent these out for me. I didn't have to sweat it. I didn't have to worry about putting any of that, putting any of those emails that went out to all the other agents out. I didn't have to do that. Go right to your listing. Oops, sorry, that's where I was at. And I can show any inactive records as well, which I'm going to have a list of my old. So these are my old listings all along here that are no longer active. All right, I think it's about time to talk about any questions that anyone has. I thought I saw one pop up. Do we have any others? No questions. Well, all right. Next time.
One question.
Oh, sorry, one question. Go ahead.
Can you change the banner picture in the newsletter?
Yes, absolutely. You can change that banner picture. So let's go to um, real estate newsletter. I think it's here. Newsletter settings on the left-hand side. And there you go. So you can change that. And the cool thing is you can change it with the seasons. So there's a whole bunch of other ones, you know, skylines, mountains, you know, we're Colorado, a lot of mountain pictures here. Those are some options you have right here. I'm not sure if we can get some additional options or if you can customize your one. That would be a good question we could probably ask New Panda if you're passionate about one that you've taken, knowing that it would have to reach a certain criteria for size, for DPI and everything. That might be a possibility. But yeah, absolutely. So again, how I got there, I went to real estate newsletter. On the left-hand side, newsletter settings, and there's where I got it. Now, a couple other things we didn't touch on there in the newsletter is the personal articles. So if you want to create your own, you can see I just wrote a test here. I'm not much of a writer. I trust other folks to do that. But if you want to kind of steal/borrow any of the articles that we have written that the company has, you can certainly add your own personal article. If you want to take part of that reality check and say, hey, I want to copy this paragraph and put it in here, do it. The company writes all this stuff so that we can use it. We don't have to do a lot of brain damage putting this stuff together to make our lives easier and to reach our clients. Manage subscriptions. Super. We got instructions on there. I don't want to do our time with that. Maybe we'll do that next time. And step-by-step instructions. And, of course, the overview.
Another question.
Sure.
Do you do anything to promote houses you helped buyers get?
Oh, that's a great idea. You know, I think that's not a bad idea, especially in this market, because it's tough to win with the buyers right now. I don't do that, but I really like that idea. I think this could certainly be a great thing. Put that smiling face with you and your buyers. Hey, we got the house. You know, it was a competitive bidding situation. And let your sphere in particularly know that, hey, I know all you're hearing about is people not getting houses and writing 20, 30, 40 contracts. You know, they always blow it out to some ridiculous number. I think that's a wonderful idea. I really like that idea. Whoever thought of that idea, I may be stealing that. Because right now, one of the things we really need to do is try to instill client confidence, agent confidence in our buyers. You know, we're writing 2 or 3 or 4 offers, and the buyers are just getting frustrated, and they're starting to feel like, gosh, maybe my agent doesn't know what we're doing. Well, of course you know what you're doing, but you're getting 7 or 8 other offers. Look, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're not the only offer that didn't get accepted. There's a good chance 6 or 7 other offers also didn't get accepted. But I don't think that would be a bad thing if you're having good success in writing those contracts.
Mm-hmm. One other question. How can I change the picture's existing message? For example, the one that's in 4th of July.
Okay. So let's go to create a new message. We'll just pull one up and we'll show you how to edit that. We'll start with the template. Let's go with one that's all-purpose. We'll just go to an e-card and we'll change that one of these summer pictures. Or actually, I wonder if we have a holiday event. Maybe we probably have a 4th of July one for the summer. There's the 4th of July one. Let's say we want to change the image on that. We'll click on this. So let's say we want to change that image. We've highlighted the image, and then on the left-hand side up here, you've got the little picture. Image Manager. I click on that image. And you can see it's going to go to the images that Katrina has on this one. So this looks like actually one of my old listings on Karina. So they can actually click on this, and I can insert. That is my listing. And there's the picture. Now, of course, we're going to probably want to resize that picture some. And I don't think you can do it this way. Where's the resize? We may actually have to resize that image before we load it up. Do you know about that, Katrina? Do you resize? Can you? Because you can't resize it in this program, if I'm not mistaken.
No, so you'll have to resize.
So you want to resize it. So let me give you a little tip here. This is a program that I use for resizing images. It's called InfraView, FRAN View, Infran View, and it's got it's a free program. You can find it at cnet.com, and CNET is a great place to go to download programs. So you want to make sure they don't have spyware and all that crazy stuff. But I've downloaded it from there, and again, it's called Infran View, and it's got a section where it will download after you've downloaded it, that you can resize the image to whatever size pixels you want. So whatever the DPCI is there, you can resize those exactly to what you want it to be. So again, that program is Infran View, and then you can find out about what the size is. I don't know if it has, let's see real quick if it gives us any sizing information on this. I don't see anything that says, I wonder if the HTML says on the size of the image. New Panda image. Width is 520. Let's see. So it looks like, I don't see, and this is, sorry guys, this is a little more technical, but I'm guessing that this is the width here in the center. So it looks like it's about 520 by 480, somewhere in that neck of the woods. I can't find the exact one. I'm just kind of giving you a guess. The cool thing is about the Infran View program, you can actually go in there and play with it, a couple different sizes, and make it a little bigger, a little smaller. And then after you change an image, you can also edit your message in here as well. Another question.
Can you upload your own image?
Absolutely. When you are at this one right here, and you've got this is going to be your images, whatever images you have on your hard drive of your computer. So your image manager, it's going to grab those. So wherever you have stored in your images, or if it's a laptop, probably My Pictures, you would have access to all of My Pictures right here, and you can just select that image and load it up. This one has an image editor, I just noticed. Oops, image editor. So, oh, here's great news. It looks like for you Mac users, you could crop that or change that. So you can crop that. Oh, you can change it right here. So Walla Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwiches for you Mac users, you can change that image right there and crop it. Oops, I cropped it. I might have cut too much off. But you can change the size of the aspect ratio right there. I don't want to crop it though. I don't want to ruin her picture here. But it looks like you can do that right in there as a Mac user under the image editor. If you don't have image editor, you're a PC user, I would recommend the Infran View. And it's a pretty easy program to get around in. Any other questions? All right, guys. I want to thank you all for your attention today. I hope you learned something. Don't hesitate to shoot me an email, give me a call, give me a text if you have questions about anything else. And I'd gladly spend some time to walk you through it and help you with this program. It's a really cool program, and I think if we use this program the right way, it can help you, one, keep your clients engaged with you for a long time. That's what we're looking for, keeping that client engagement, as well as getting out the good word about your business, about your inventory. And again, I thought that great idea today that we got out of that was about how successful you are with your buyers in a really tough market. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great afternoon.